What's wrong?
I have a huge test in the American Revolution tomorrow and I'm not absorbing any of this information. And I'm actually screwed for this test.
Well, that might be why you're all going to fail it.
Oh my god, I'm hearing things. I need a break. If you're gonna take a break, can you clean out the garage? You promised your father you'd do it last week. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Dear Jonathan, with every day, with every moment, my heart aches for you. There is so much talk of the war ending. The day this horrid war ends is the day we can begin our lives together. Upon your return, we can discuss names for our...
Wait, what?
I had finally made it to the camp after a few hours of travel. The superintendent nurse was already waiting for me. She didn't seem like someone who smiled often.
Are you Mrs. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
This all you bring?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready to work?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the war has already started, so you're going to have to learn quickly. I run a very tight ship around here, so listen well, I will only say this once. Each morning before the sun rises, you will be going to get the chamber pots, clean them and leave them out to dry. You will then bathe and redress the soldiers' wounds. You will be feeding them twice, once when they wake up and once more before they go to sleep, and by that time you should have brought the chamber pots back in. Are there any questions so far?
No, ma'am.
This is your tent. Under no circumstances, unless I give the order or your life is in mortal peril, shall you be leaving it. Inside is one of our more experienced nurses, Miss Edwards. She'll teach you how to redress the wounds and bathe the soldiers properly. Are there any questions?
No, ma'am.
Please know that I do not tolerate dilly-dallying. I shall be making the rounds constantly, and if I see you slacking off, you will be sent home. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's all.
My first day of a nurse is one I'll never forget. There were so many people hurt by the war, I couldn't believe that we could do this to one another. Ironically, it was also the day I made a very good friend.
Hi, you must be the new nurse Miss Brooks informed me of. I'm Eliza Edwards, but please don't call me Miss Edward. That name's a bore, and quite frankly, does not suit me.
I was surprised at first to see someone so chipper and happy in the tents that sported the same people who were shot or missing a limb. It was, however, that attitude that kept me remotely sane through the many days I spent cooped up in that tent.
Well, that's enough about me. Let me show you around so Miss Brooks does not get more frustrated than she already is. Come on.
Let me just set my stuff down.
Okay, go ahead.
June 28th, 1779. I've been here for 2 years now. Things are going relatively smooth now that I know how to do most things. Miss Brooks trusted me enough to be on my own now and even taught me how to cook several meals for the patients while the other nurses were too busy. It was tiring and difficult, but I felt more fulfilled than I ever had before. Of course, every day I dreaded to see my brother show up in the tent or worse, receive a letter that spoke of his death. But luckily neither appeared. Eliza's been keeping me busy as always, but she also keeps me happy. One too many times I've seen a nurse break down or simply sit and stare at nothing in particular, while other people groan in agony. I don't know how she does it, but I owe my emotional health to her. The surgeon comes in every day from a town several miles away. He arrives with his medical kit and various herbs like balm, hyssop, and wormwood from foreign lands. Luckily enough, the war hadn't halted international trade completely.
Send them down here, quickly. Miss Edwards is already gathering some supplies. Miss Taylor, I need you to stay here and help Dr. Cross with our patient.
Yes, Miss Brooks.
Do anything he requires of you.
Yes, Miss Brooks.
and he's a good man, so I'm sure you should be fine.
July 15th, 1779. I've been keeping an eye on this soldier for 2 weeks now. He's been in and out of consciousness. I ran out of opium, but Mr. Cross told me that the hardest part was over. We just had to hope that God would help him against any infection. He's woken up at times in the middle of the night yelling about someone named Edward. I've gotten up to put him back to sleep more than once. I've managed to bring him down easily most of the time. Luckily, I've inherited my mother's voice. He seems to be getting better now, but Mr. Cross said he wouldn't be able to hold a rifle for another 16 weeks at least.
Am I dead?
Of course not.
Damn, because I thought you were an angel. I was only joking, by the way.
This would go much more efficiently if you weren't trying to distract your nurse.
Well, does my nurse have a name?
Lydia Taylor.
Well, Lydia, my name is Jonathan. Jonathan Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, I'll be tending to you periodically and making sure stitches are still in place. If you need anything, call me.
And if I just want your company?
Then you'll have to wait your turn. The injured man I have been tending spoke to me today. He was very upfront. Normally, I think I'd be quite flustered by such frank behavior, but I found it somehow charming. He's quite handsome, in the same way a her puppy is. Mr. Wright, Mr. Wright.
Oh, Lydia. I'm sorry to wake you. Have I stirred anyone else?
Only yourself, Mr. Wright.
Okay, good.
Do you need anything else, Mr. Wright?
No, thank you, Lydia. And please, call me Jonathan.
Very well, Mr. Jonathan. Good night.
Actually, do you think you'd stay a little while longer? I don't think I could fall asleep, and I'd love for someone to talk to.
Very well, Jonathan. Anything on your mind?
Yes, actually, if you don't mind me asking, why are you here?
Oh, I thought you'd want me to wake you from your nightmare.
I'm not asking as to why you're at my hospital bed. I'm asking as to why you're here at this hospital camp at all.
How do you mean?
Well, I've seen the way you walk past. You carry yourself with that of the higher class, and yet you're still here, tending the sick and wounded. And you're not married either, something I find surprising.
My brother fights in the war, and I felt rather stupid staying at home while he was away risking his life.
How brave of you. I have a brother also, and he's fighting as we speak, and I just wish I could fight alongside him instead of lying useless in this bed wearing all these bandages.
Well, if it means anything, I think it's pretty courageous to take a bullet for what one believes in. You need to rest if you want those bandages to heal. Good night, Jonathan.
Good night, Lydia.
September 15th, 1779. It's been several months since Jonathan was operated on. He's spoken to me several times, but nothing nearly as intimate as a few months ago. I may have cut our encounter too abruptly before it could wander anywhere else. I simply can't get my mind off of him. Jonathan, you shouldn't be doing that. Jonathan, I told you to be careful. If any of those threads come loose, 3 months of recovery would be for naught.
I wasn't thinking of that.
What were you thinking?
I just wanted to get up and see you.
Well, that wasn't necessary. If you wanted to see me, you should have just called for me.
Well, I'm just so tired of sitting here in this bed. People are dying fighting the British, and I'm here doing nothing. It's just awful.
Jonathan, you're not doing nothing. I thought it was too until I realized I could help other people. You're going to be recovered by the end of the year.
Thank you for your confidence in me, Lydia.
I have confidence in you, Jonathan, because I know you can have it for yourself.
Lydia, dear, would you help me with something quickly?
Yeah.
Lydia,
Yes, Jonathan?
do you think you could take a walk with me when I'm able to?
Of course, Jonathan. November 12th, 1779. Jonathan's been recovering steadily. He can sit up in bed. We've been conversing more now, talking about our lives before the war began. He has very interesting tales to tell.
Oh, Lydia, good morning.
Good morning, Jonathan. What were you dreaming about?
I was dreaming about my brother
And?
and what we would do before the war began. Almost every day we would hunt in the woods outside our home, especially before the winter to get a stock of dried meats for the season.
Damn, I missed. Always wear a lousy shot.
You're one to talk.
We'll see, brother. I'll be the one putting my meat on the table tonight.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It sounds like you two are close.
Yeah, we were.
I know what it's like to have someone you love fighting for your country, and I hope you know what you're doing means a lot. And I'm proud of how far you've come.
Thank you, Lydia. That means a lot. I'd really love to spend more time with you.
As would I.
This tent can just make you feel so confined at times.
I can see how one could get antsy being cooped up in here so long.
Would you take a walk with me then, when I'm able to? I would love to get out of this tent and go walk around before I have to go back to the front lines.
I'd quite like that, Jonathan. How are you feeling?
This is the first time I've been outside in over a year.
And?
I don't remember it being this beautiful.
It is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes. Lydia, I can't thank you enough for how much you've done for me. Without you, I don't know how I would have gone through all that time in that tent.
I was only doing what I thought right. Now that you're healed, will you be going off to war?
Yes. I leave at first light tomorrow.
I'll be sorry to see you go. Shall I write you?
Yes, write me every day. I don't care what you write about, even if it's just about Eliza or Miss Brooks, or even something you saw that day. Anything and everything.
Of course, Jonathan. I'll write you every day.
Lydia? I'm falling for you. I love you.
Jonathan, I love you too. Here. Take this so you don't forget me.
I could never.
November 14th, 1779. Jonathan has left the hospital camp just in time for the arrival of the first snows. Already I worry for him, wondering about him every waking moment. 7 months have passed in the blink of an eye, and I feel as though he's gone forever.
You
Nathaniel Greene had the right idea when he wanted us to sandwich Cornwallis's men in between his army and Daniel Morgan. We got him panicking.
It's a shame we couldn't fight Cornwallis ourselves. Instead, he sends Colonel Bannister to lose his fights for him. I think I got one. Glad to see you haven't lost your touch, huh? It's because I found a woman to fight for.
Oh, a lady friend? You're gonna have to introduce me. I have a brother who can officiate both of our weddings.
Oh, you're one to talk, huh?
Out of the three of us, it seems to be that you're the only one who isn't fighting for somebody they love.
Yeah, because I'm fighting for 5.
Got him! No!
Right coat, right coat! No! John! Alex! No!
Jonathan, Annabelle, my love, I could never tell you I loved you so much, and I could never tell you, not in time, not before.
Dear Jonathan, my heart aches for you with every passing day. I cannot stand thinking about you on that bloody battlefield, always in those dangerous linear ranks, trading volleys. Luckily, the bayonets seem to be working more than the pikemen were, but I still can't bear to think of you back in this tent with, Lord forbid, another wound like the last one.
That's right.
Jonathan, when you didn't respond to my letter, I didn't know what to think.
I know, and I'm sorry, my love.
Jonathan, as excited as I am to see you here, what brings you here?
I had an epiphany at the Battle of Charleston fighting the British, and I realized I needed to make my intentions clear before it was too late.
What intentions, Jonathan?
Lydia, my darling, my life, my love, will you marry me?
Yes, Jonathan, yes!
We have gathered here today in holy matrimony and to witness the union of Jonathan Alexander Wright and Lydia Holly Taylor. Mr. Wright, do you take this moment, Lydia Taylor, to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Mrs. Taylor, do you take this man, Jonathan Wright, to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to happiness and self-fulfillment as a person?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to happiness and self-fulfillment as a person?
I do.
Do you promise to love, honor, and trust him in sickness and in health, in adversity and prosperity, and to be true and loyal to her so long as you shall be alive?
I do.
Do you promise to love, honor, and trust him in sickness and in health, in adversity and prosperity, and to be true and loyal to him so as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Then without further ado, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride.
January 20th, 1780. Today was the happiest day of my life. I am now Lydia Wright, married to my beloved Jonathan Wright. I cannot express in writing how full of joy the world seems now. Jonathan received leave for only 2 more weeks, but we plan on making the most of that time. It seems as though my every waking moment is spent with my husband. I cannot stop thinking about him in my dreams and when I'm with the wounded. He's my life, and I'm his. Dear Jonathan, with every day, with every moment, my heart aches for you. There is so much talk of the war ending. The day this horrid war ends is the day we can begin our lives together. Upon your return, we can discuss names for our...
Good afternoon, Miss Wright. How are you today?
I'm feeling quite well. In fact, very well. Being a child has made me feel quite at peace. Saving these lives has encouraged me to have my own.
You are looking quite swollen. How many months are you in?
5 months. I'll be due here in a few months.
Indeed.
Is there something wrong, Miss Brooks?
You cannot and should not have a child on a battlefield. It's unpractical and unsafe.
Please, Miss Brooks.
You're to be sent home right away, and there's no discussion on this matter.
Miss Brooks, these people need me. Miss Brooks, I need to be here. Please let me stay a little bit longer. There's no good I can do at my home estate.
It'll do your child good, for one. I can't have your condition hindering yourself or any activities you may do here. Your devotion here is admirable, but I've kept you here long enough.
Very well. I expected that my place should be reserved for when I come back.
Good. I'm glad you can see reason and know you're always welcome here. Though do know this, what you've learned and accomplished here is truly incredible, and you are perhaps one of the best people I've had the pleasure to work with.
Thank you for your kind words, Miss Brooks.
I've notified your estate that you're going to be sent home. I have not, however, given them a reason. I suspect you'll want to tell them that yourself.
Thank you, Miss Brooks. Dear Jonathan, it is with great joy that I announce our child will be born soon. I have been thinking more about names, and I agree with you. Henry if he's a boy, and Virginia if she's a girl. With the British surrender at Yorktown several days ago, I hope with all my heart that this is the last letter I must send. Your wife, Lydia. Yes, you called for me?
Lydia Wright?
I am she.
I am Edward Wright, your brother-in-law.
Nice to meet you. Is everything okay? Is Jonathan all right?
Unfortunately not.
Jonathan, you got shot?
Yeah.
All right. Cover me, John.
Oh, Cornwallis' troops are sure putting up a fight for their last battle.
Are you sure it's the last one?
That's what I heard. I heard Lafayette and Rochambeau's troops are joining under the lead of Washington.
Maybe I can go back and see Lydia.
I hope so.
John! No! Jonathan, no! John! 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 No, John! 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 No, John! Please! No, John, please!
Yeah.
John, please!
October 12th, 1781. In the wake of my husband's death, I felt only despair. It was the same day that I also felt the greatest joy of my life. It took 12 difficult hours and a lot of pain, but I finally brought my son into this world. His eyes looked so much like his father's, and his wisp of hair, the same dark chestnut. His name is Jonathan, after the man I dearly loved and cherished. It will be difficult, a widowed mother in 1781, but I'm willing to work hard to be a caring mother and give Jonathan the life he deserves.
Oh, Mom, I was just... Honey, what's wrong? Did you know about this? About her? About who? Oh, I think I know about this. My grandmother gave this to me. It belonged to one of our ancestors, but I can't remember the name. Lydia Taylor. She was a nurse in the Revolutionary War, and I guess I'm related to her. History can be kind of cool sometimes. Yeah, it can be informative. Now, dinner's ready. We can talk about this over food.